And hello, everyone. Oh, got this hair looking a little crazy here. Hello. Happy Wednesday to you all. I know we're just a few days away from Christmas, celebrating Christmas. And some of you may have thought I was not going to jump on live today because it's a holiday season. But it is very timely that I should actually get on here today. Um, the subject matter for today, I haven't even put it up there, is such as how do I cope? How do I cope with sickness and grief during the holidays? I'm appreciative of those who are coming on in. If you don't mind letting me know where you're from, where you're watching, as well as sharing this live with those people, your friends. It's always good to know who is watching. Again, if you don't mind, let me know who is watching, where you're watching from. Let's see. Get my stuff situated over here on this side. Hey, Antoine. How are you? All right. Anybody, as you guys come on in, just let me know who you are, where you're watching from. Tonight's gonna be a little different. One, we know the subject matter, talking about sickness, talking about grief is never a comfortable subject to talk about. It's not easy, but it is necessary. If you're just now tuning in for the very first Wednesday, and this is, I believe, the fourth Wednesday. Hey, Shirley. Antoine, I'm so glad to hear you say I'm recovering from COVID. I'm sorry that you were affected, but I'm glad to hear the recovery part. That makes me happy, makes me rejoice with you and celebrate with you. But every Wednesday for the last 4 Wednesdays of the month of December, I have been showcasing this show called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Meaning, when we sit at the dinner table, as some of you, as I'm going to say, as most of us will begin to sit at the table, whether it's your intimate family, maybe you might bring in a little bit larger, your medium-sized family, come Thursday or Friday with your family members. Let's just be honest. When we come to the table, we do not talk about anything beyond the surface. Everything we do at the dinner table is light. It's laughter. It's happiness. We do not talk about the nitty gritty. We just don't. We, for some reason, don't feel like the dinner table was made to have those conversations. Again, as you come on in, let me know who you are, who's watching, where you're watching from. So guess who's coming to dinner? Sorry about that. Is basically is here to address those issues that affect our mental state, our spiritual being, our emotional side. And so today, we just gonna address this conversation. What you see here is how do I cope with sickness and grief during the holidays. Earlier, I said it was just going to be about grief. Thank you, Toya. I appreciate you being here with me. But as I was getting ready, I realized that I don't want to forsake those people who also may be struggling to celebrate at the holidays, who also have a loved one who is sick. As Antoine said, he is recovering from COVID. And there's a lot of people personally, well, I should say directly, indirectly this week, I have seen that have been affected by the virus of COVID. So celebrating Christmas and celebrating New Year's may not be as the same as they would want it to be. So I'm going to ask a question. So I should let you all know it's just going to be me and you tonight. I do not have a therapist on with me today. I don't want to say the name, but I do want, for those who believe in the power of prayer, to pray for not just my therapist, every family that has been affected by the death angel that has came and touched many families this week. So this show is dedicated not just to my therapist that was scheduled to be with me tonight, but every family that has had a loved one to pass in the recent times, as in yesterday, this past week, as well as this year. This show is dedicated to you, as well as the show is dedicated to everyone who's had or is dealing with a loved one who right now is sick during the holidays. So you're going to engage with me. I don't plan on being here long. So as long as you talk with me, we'll have a wonderful show. But let me know, what are some thing that you and your family are going to do this Christmas to celebrate? I wonder if we can start on a lighter note. What are you doing this year to celebrate with your family this Christmas? Some of those things may be maybe might be thinking creatively. You might be doing a Zoom call, a Zoom dinner with your family. That's one of the things I will suggest now early. So if I forget to say it, for those who may have family members who are sick, and you're thinking, I still want to incorporate them into the celebration of the holiday. Well, you're thinking, how do I do this? A Zoom. If you're saying that they are uh, maybe they themselves are not able to do it themselves, so maybe Zoom is not accessible. See if you're able to, if it's a nursing home. Now I know I'm answering my own question. Let me know, y'all. What are some things that you are going to do with your family to celebrate Christmas? Whether you have a loved one that's sick, whether you have someone that has recently died in your family, how are your family coming together? Let me know in the comment section if you don't mind. If you're a person who has recently lost a loved one, how are you celebrating the holidays? I'll let you think about this for a minute as you get your words together. But this day, 7 years ago, my family was personally affected by the death angel. I had an uncle that died 7 years ago, December 21st. And I had another uncle to die December 23rd, which would be today. My family was in shock because we had to deal with not just one, but we had to deal with two funerals. But thankfully, they were brothers. We were able to bring the family together. It was unusual, but it was the 2 days before the holidays that my last uncle died. Christmas that year didn't feel all sweet and joyful that year. That year, we learned to appreciate the value of family, but it wasn't as cheerful and loving as can be. So I want to know what have you done? Have you been affected by death or been affected by sickness, and how have you celebrated grief during the holidays? Now, I won't keep pressing the question. If y'all just want to listen, that's fine. I offer up some advice here. I just want to see if there's anything, suggestions that you have that you personally have done. So I will start with this side of, let's start with the sickness, okay? Someone who is sick, some way to incorporate them into, or for you to deal with how you are dealing with the sickness of a loved one during the holidays can be put like this. I want to start with this, and this is a phrase I've used a lot. It's okay to feel your feelings. It is okay that you are sad. It is okay to be sorrowful. It is okay to be even angry. And I know a lot of people don't like saying it's okay to be angry. It is okay to be angry. It's okay to have feelings. I think what we get confused is that we don't allow people to have feelings, and so they get stuffed up with all emotions inside. The problem is you need to be able to vent and have your feelings. The problem is you need not to stay in your feelings. I'm going to pause there for a minute. I'm going to read here a comment. My grandmother's death anniversary, her fourth death anniversary is December 8th. And I'm just keeping my spirit high because I know she wouldn't want me being sad. Holidays aren't the same, but my babies make it better. I totally understand. Children have a way of making holidays seem a lot better, especially for us adults. It's a wonderful time to want to give to them. It's nice to see them unwrap the gifts. It's nice to see the smiles on their face. Yeah. Antoine, you said, hopefully I get a lot of FaceTime calls, since this is my first Christmas I've missed in 39 years. Listen, I'm going to hope that while you are responding to this, that people are seeing this, because that is very true. We have to figure out ways to be creative in order to celebrate this holiday. So I want to make sure those who are just coming in, I want you not to forget. I said it's okay to feel your feelings. If there's anything you don't get today, I want you to say it's okay to feel your feelings. So whether you're on the sickness side or whether you're grieving, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to miss that person. But I don't want you to get stuck there. And I'm not saying I don't want you to get stuck there on December 24th or December 25th or December 31st or January 1st. What I'm saying is it's okay to feel your feelings, but don't get stuck there. Now, as I was telling my niece and nephew, what is too long for someone to be there? What time is subjective to the person? But I would think I would be, don't have, this is Kiki advice giving you, but I would think that when sometimes we don't know when it's too bad, but when our emotions have controlled our actions and our thinking, then that would be too long, if I can say that. Meaning if the way you feel has really even changed the way you work, the way you talk, the way you interact with people, well, then right there, we need to figure out how we need to find healthy ways to cope with our emotions. The second thing I want to say is, it's something that Lysandra said and Antoine kind of put together. When Antoine said he's hoping he gets FaceTime calls, we need not to forsake, all right, Queen, we need not to forsake the people that are in our families that may be sick. I guess I should say like this. Don't forget to include your family members, even if they are not able to function the way they used to. Given I understand we're in COVID, so we can't do everything we used to, but I want to encourage you to not neglect your family members or your friends that are sick, because they need to be included. Find ways to include them. And you're like, Kiki, well, how do I find it? Or how do I include them? And this can even go for grief. How do you include your sick family members or friends? Well, you can write them a letter. You can call them that day. For some people who are in nursing home, especially those who are, I know in the local area where I live at, you're able to go visit them outside their window if they're at a nursing home or a hospice. If you don't know, go give them a call. If this is something new to you, you didn't know, call the nursing home, hospice, and find out before Thursday or Friday gets there and ask them, am I able to just, if you're able to bring my family member to the window of their bedroom, can I just speak to them? Can I just show them my face? Help them be included on that day. If you can send something to them, send something to them. Now, grief, you're like, well, I can't visit them because they're not here. You can go visit them if you're up to it. You can go visit them at their gravestone. You can still include them. You can go. I don't know. A lot of people may, I don't know how you all feel about gravesites and visiting them. But I go visit my grandparents on their anniversaries, on their birthdays, on Father's Day, on Mother's Day. And I go talk to them. Now, I know they're not there. And I know they can't talk to me back. And I know they can't touch me. But I include them on that day. I still recognize them on that day. So if you feel the unction in your spirit to just go see them on Christmas or New Year's, go out there and talk. Yeah, I know they can't talk to you back. But if you want to, include them on that day. Also, I want you to know that if it's for grief that you're dealing with a loved one, another way to incorporate them into your holiday, especially for those who like to cook, is go figure out what their favorite meal was. What is something that Big Mama and Big Daddy used to do to make Christmas special or Christmas Eve special? What did they do to make New Year special? Even if you're not a good cook, maybe it might be funny. It might even uplift your spirits to even just attempt to make what Big Mama and Big Daddy used to make. I know my grandma loved making desserts. Listen, I just learned how to cook. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I just learned how to cook in 2020. So breakfast was all I could do when my grandma was alive. I could master some eggs. I could scramble some eggs and flip some toast and French toast, to be exact. That was me. I was able to do those things. Okay. But dinners, my grandma used to tell me, y'all can laugh here if you need a little laughter. She said, baby, if you don't know how to cook, you ain't gonna be able to get no husband. But grandma will be happy to know that baby has learned how to cook, and I may be able to get a husband in 2021 or the future. But ways to incorporate even your recent loved ones. Yes, find a meal. Another way to emotionally sad right now, coping. Listen, you are not the only one, Queen. Let me let people know what is going on. Antoine says they do that. They go to the gravesite to visit his grandpa. Queen has said that she's emotionally sad right now. And listen, I completely understand. Let me know who I'm talking to. If you don't mind, if you don't mind, if you don't mind. I know I'm asking you because it's just me and y'all tonight. And it's not gonna be long. Let me know who I'm talking to. Can you just put your hand up if you are someone right now that is dealing with either the sickness or the grief during the holidays of a loved one? Just let me know. If you're someone, don't heart me, don't like me because I can't see. But if you don't mind just dropping a hand emoji saying that, just disagreeing with me, that lets me know that I'm talking to you. I'm gonna wait. I know I talk fast, so if I slow down, maybe I can see y'all's hands pop up. I know I wanted to say this earlier and I didn't get to it. For those who are, maybe you're saved or you're not saved, the Bible speaks about there being a time. And it talks about there's a time, like there's a time for death, and there's a time to be born. I was trying to look for it earlier and I couldn't get it. But in that being said, there's different times. I want us to understand that there's even a time for sadness. There's a time for grieving, but there's a time for celebration. All right. Thank you, Shannon, for letting me know I'm not by myself here. Somebody else that is dealing with this. Anyone else? Anyone else? Is there anyone else that is dealing with grief? Queen, I know you are in here with me. I know you're not alone on this. Let's see. Sorry about that. I'm losing my. Okay. One thing I want you to know, and it's funny, I looked up this note, and I want to mention this now. I don't really like the word normal, right? But for those who may be having a loved one who is sick, and I know I'm going back and forth, so I'm going to slow it down. For a family member who may be sick, another tip to give to you would be try to find some normalcy, right? Some way that will, some way that was normal when you had maybe your sickness person or even grief. For you, that could be multiple things. Besides the cooking, I don't know what y'all used to start, how y'all start y'all Christmas or how y'all start y'all New Year's Eve. I'm gonna just do New Year's Eve because that's for some reason it's just the first thing that came to my mind when I think about my loved ones. I was raised with my grandma and granddad in the same household, and they have been gone 10 and 18 years this year. And one thing I recall growing up in my household on New Year's Eve, I don't know why that comes up first, not Christmas, is that Black people, our culture, have a tradition about eating black-eyed peas. And it was a saying that a man had to, I believe a man had to be the first one to walk out your door as well as like walk back in your door. My grandma had a saying where you don't end the year with dirty clothes in the house. There was nothing dirty in the room, in the house. There was nothing dirty in the house. Everything had to be clean. You also had to end the year with money. My grandma was the type of person who said, you the way you ended things, the way you started things. So all those things, I don't know if y'all heard that, all those things have stuck with my family. I don't really like the black-eyed peas. My mom gives me a spoonful. We try to keep the normalcy of our New Year's. There's been times I ended the year broke and started the year broke. And I'm like, oh, my grandma would kill me if she knew that I didn't even have $1 to my name on New Year's Eve. The dirty clothes thing, my grandma's probably still whooping my butt. Like, she's still whooping my butt because December 31st is around the corner. And I'm still having issues with cleaning the room and then starting the new year with the right clothes, clean clothes and to be the clean house. But that's enormously. Try to find ways to keep your holidays somewhat normal. Now, I don't want to be insensitive to people who have lost a loved one. And you're saying to me, well, listen, Kiki, K, Nicole, Keandra, whatever you want to call yourself. I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be cheerful. But I don't know how to be. Like, and I think there's just a word in that. Just be. Just simply be. Whatever that is, be in your moment. I think you would do a disservice to yourself by not acknowledging your feelings, but at the same time, forcing yourself to do something that would actually make you more angry than actually benefiting you. Um, I think we as people, outside people who have not been affected by sickness and grief, who put the pressures on people who are dealing with these things and tell them, hey, you should cheer up. You should feel better. It's been years since that individual has died. Ooh, you're being very insensitive. I think the best thing again I can say is just be whatever that is for you. Just be. But I would say this: if you're a person who has kids, again, I said this earlier, kids are a beautiful thing. Kids are a gift to us. We were once a kids. We were once a gift to our parents, and some of us are still a gift to our parents. I would encourage you to find even joy and happiness inside of a child. There's something about a kid that will sometimes make you forget what you're even growing through at the moment. Yep. I'm gonna let you go here, Antoine. Yes, I've learned to let people grieve the way they do. Yes, because we all grieve differently. I know if you all have a chance to go back, and if you're not a friend, I'll pause here. It's a little market tour here. If you're not a friend of the Kay Nicole company page, please go like that page now. Kay Nicole company page. The first week we started this conversation about anxiety, isolation, and grief, and I had Latoya on here, and we talked about the 7 stages of grieving. Hopefully I said that right. 7 stages of grieving, and she helped us understand that we don't all grieve the same. We don't really go from one stage to another. Like we can, feel a couple of them all at once. It's not just, hey, I wish I'd have brought those notes with me. So don't kill me off. But go back and watch. I believe it was December 2nd. Go back and watch that video. Latoya definitely breaks down about the 7 stages of grief. And I believe just go back to the point of saying, let people grieve. I don't like the cliche sayings don't help. I believe I'm catching on. Jane, thank you. You are appreciative. I'm trying to work in here tonight. It's amazing tonight because I'm doing something solo. But there is something in there that I learned on Sunday. I was prepared. I already knew I wasn't going to have a therapist on Sunday. And I'm just shouting them out. Minister Mark, Pastor Mark Taylor, help me understand this. This tonight is how some of you may feel on Christmas. Alone, not really knowing what words to say, not really knowing how to feel. I'm here with you right now. I'm experiencing aloneness tonight. For many of us, and I'm not trying to say I'm just like you, but for many of us, we may not understand that how it feels to deal with sickness and grief during the holidays. So you're watching, you may be watching to figure out how can you be a good friend or a family member to someone else, maybe a long extension cousin who may be dealing with this. And you're like, how do I help them? Because you maybe never dealt with grief during the holidays, especially grief that happens right in the midst of the holidays. Now, I know we're in COVID. I know we're in a pandemic. I know COVID is happening and people are dying right now as we speak. People have died this week. And sad to say, people will die this week. As I prepared to do the show a month ago, and who would knew that the week that I had scheduled to talk about celebrating grief during the holidays, that a number of people would lose their loved ones this week. I have seen mothers gone this week. I have seen fathers gone this week. I have seen husbands gone this week. I've seen so much death around me. My heart is heavy. If you know anything like me, I don't really say this a lot. My friends say this about me, but I have a servant's heart. So it's hard for me tonight to actually do this because not just because I don't have a therapist, because my heart hurts for those families. Families who feel like they didn't get a chance to say their goodbyes or they love you. Especially those who were affected by COVID. They didn't get to say their goodbyes. They didn't get to say I love yous. They didn't get to celebrate Christmas. Christmas was supposed to be here with them, but they're not. So, for those who may say, Kiki, you didn't really give me much to say what to talk, how to grieve, or how to navigate. Well, I did. I told you one. I told you one that it's okay to feel your feelings. I told you it's okay to be. It's okay to be whatever that is. I also told you it's okay. It's great to incorporate whatever their meal was that used to make holidays seem normal again. What did you used to do eat around the table? What did you used to do around Christmas, around with your loved one or the ones who sick? What did you used to do? Bring that back. But also, I will encourage you to even do something as new, right? Make new memories. I know it's kind of hard because we are, I believe, as humans, we are was a creature of habit, right? So we like to do the same thing the same way. We brush our teeth the same way. We brush our hair the same way. Yeah, I know if y'all looked at all my lives, my hair does not look the same. I'm not a creature of habit. I'm a creature of abnormality. I like to do everything different. Okay, so I will encourage you to do something different this year. If you are a family who is stuck to the traditional family I call it Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving, Christmas look like the same meals. If you're used to the same traditional meals, maybe try something different. Like me and my family this year, we're going to try to do a little surf and turf this year. We're going to try to do seafood. And I know somebody would say that is not Christmas food. What is Christmas food? Help me out. Y'all can respond there. But I want you to understand, do something new this year. Make new memories. Try to still incorporate your loved one that is gone, or even your person that is sick. You can make new memories, meaning for families, like I mentioned earlier, for those who may just be dropping in, you can do FaceTime, you can do Zoom, you can, again, go outside the window. You can maybe light some candles. I don't know how many of you like candles in your household. Light a candle for those who are grieving a lost one. Find their favorite color candle and light it up. I would even do this. This is me just talking right now off the top of my dome. I don't really call what my grandma's favorite color is, but I asked my mom this. I would go find the favorite color of my grandmother. And if I don't light it up the entire day, I would go light it up at the time that either we spend most of the time together. That's something different. The time of her birthday, if you know, I can figure that out. My grandma was born in 1960, might be a little hard. But I would put it at a time that maybe we share our time together the most. Like for me and my grandma, we spend a lot of evening time together. Maybe light the candle in their honor to celebrate them. What about go and even go get the bottle of perfume or cologne to make their presence even still seem there? How many of you are a person that when you smell something or you see something, it reminds you of your loved one and it brings up good memories? Queen, I see you in here with me. Jane as well. Ashley, let me know. Is there ever a time that you smell a certain scent and it makes you think of your loved one in a good way, in a good thought? Is there a place that makes you just like stop for a minute and actually thinks that you're there with them? Oh, give me a second here, guys. Ooh. All right. Got a little issues here, technical. 1 second there. All right. 1 second there. 1 second. Hope I don't lose you guys. All right. Yes. All the time. Thank you, cousin. Appreciate you being there with us. Sorry, I'm having just a little bit technical. Just a little bit. All right. Something else to do would be, I'm so sorry, everyone. Something else new that you can do to celebrate the holidays is that you can even Give to charity. Give up your time. This is something new. Uh, all right. Hold on. I'm not able to smell since chemo, but God sends me fragrance of sweet woody seed spice. I appreciate that. That's amazing. You said you're not able to smell, but you're able, but he sends that fragrance. That's awesome. There is ways. There's magical ways of things of smelling us to bring us back to a remnant of something. Now I don't know how many music lovers I got, and as I said, I promise you, I'm not gonna be here long with you tonight. But music is another way to uh, uplift your spirits during this holiday. Music, food, um, lighting up a candle, finding ways to give to charity. Now, here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite part that when I was dealing with someone in my family who was sick, and when I lost someone who during the holidays that had died, my best ways to make me happy is hearing stories about them, whether they're alive or not. That makes me uplift my spirit. I can't explain to you all. Reenact something a family member did on the hot. Listen, I we do that at my household. We did that beforehand. We definitely do it now. But telling stories that your family members used to do, or like I said, this goes for both sickness and grief. I can recount when it comes to grief more for me than sickness is because I've had the death that happened during the holidays and just in general. I don't want to eliminate this. I'm not just saying grief that has only happened during the holidays. You can have somebody that died early in January and this is your first Christmas. You can have someone that had died in July and again, it's your first Christmas. Or you could have somebody who has died over 10 years ago. And guess what? Christmas still ain't the same for you. And it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't, death, the mourning the loss of someone does not change just because of the year. I know there's a saying, and I may get in trouble for saying this, but given this is Kiki's wisdom here. We always say it gets better in time. I want people to understand that when people say that it gets better in time, doesn't mean that the emotions, the feeling, so the emotions, the feelings, the remembrance of that gets better in time. No, that's not what they mean. When they say it gets better in time, it means it gets better, it gets more manageable. I think that's the more appropriate word. It gets more manageable. You're able to manage a little bit more of how to adjust with your life without them being there. Because the hurt of them will always affect you. It will always affect you in some type of way. Even if you are the type of person who says, hey, my mom has been gone over 20 years and, maybe you smile, you don't cry anymore. You don't cry when it comes to their birthday. You don't cry when it comes to death anniversary. And I commend you. But some of us, I think a lot of people, no matter the time that has passed, I want you to know that it only gets better to manage it, but it still affects your life. It doesn't mean it lessens more by the time goes by, because that's not always true. My grandmother was married to my grandfather for 60 plus years. 60 plus years. When she lost her husband, she was 87 years old. And my grandma had grew up with my grandfather. And for 8 years, my grandmother longed for her husband. She wanted to die. She actually vocalized those words that she wanted to be with her husband. As the time had went on before she died, she said, I'm by myself. My mom is gone. My dad is gone. My brother and sister is gone. Her last sister had died just 3 months. 3 to 4 months right before my grandma had died. My grandma said she wanted to go. The hurt of her parents, the hurt of her siblings, the hurt of her husband. She wanted to join them. She wanted to join them. And I used to look at my grandma and say, well, what about me? What about your grandkids? What about your kids, and your grandkids, and you have a great grandson? My grandma said, I want to go. She felt alone. So time doesn't make the pain less easier, but it makes it more better to manage. Now, if I'm wrong, Jane, Toy, if you're still here, you can correct me on this. But I want you to understand that in time, it's better to manage it. But during these holidays, you can find ways to manage your feelings. Let me know. I'm talking a lot. Let me know if this is helping you out. I know you guys keep watching in and out. I don't know if I'm talking to myself. um, Let me see. I would agree right there in quote. Still her moments. Smile more. Cry. All right, I'm gonna read this. So I don't want y'all to think I'm just nodding my head. I still have moments. I still have my moments, and it's been many years. A song, a movie, a smell. They can either make me cry or smile. The fact that I smile more than I cry now, though. Let me. Anyone else? I'm not. Let me know if this is helpful to you all. I do these check-ins after every show because I understand that in order to continue to do something, you have to really know if it's being effective. And so let me know. Well, thank you, Jane. I'm hoping to be helpful. I'm going to give you guys less than 10 minutes of this live tonight. Hopefully, you have found some type of way to deal with the holidays if you have lost a loved one or grief. Again, if you don't mind, just help me out here. Let me know. I don't want to talk to myself, but I kind of am because I'm here by myself today. Let me know if this has helped you in some type of way. Or again, I asked a question. I've seen more people have came on. What are you doing this Christmas? What are you doing this Christmas? How are you celebrating Christmas? Maybe you said, "Hey, Kiki, I wasn't affected by sickness or grief," but you guess what you are affected by? We're all affected by this pandemic, and it looks a little different. How are you celebrating the holidays? Now, while you get your words together, I want people to understand whether you believe in God or you don't. For the ones who believe in God, I'm going to go with that because if you all know I'm a Christian. For us, we know the real true meaning of Christmas, right? Our Savior's birth, right? For those who don't believe in Christ, this is not an argument. This is not the time to, battle that. If anything that you can think of good, this is the time that we would usually all come together and where we should think less of ourselves and more onto the people who are less fortunate of us. This is that time. This is that season. I don't know if you guys realize the season started almost 3 weeks ago called Thanksgiving, right? This season of being thankful and being grateful and being happy and appreciative started back on Thanksgiving. And it goes all the way until we get to Christmas. Well, I would say sometime New Year's. All right, y'all are coming in here real quick. And so, I lost my train of thought. Oh man, I lost that train of thought that quick. So during this time in the season, I want you, if you don't remember anything else, is remember that real reason for the holiday. The real reason the holiday is not about the gifts. It's not about Santa Claus. As I shared with someone earlier, and I'm going to read you guys' comments here in a minute, is I had a gentleman ask me today at work. He said, "Did you buy all your Christmas gifts for your kids?" He don't even know I had kids. I guess he just assumed that. I said, "No, sir, I'm being a Scrooge this year. Fortunately, my kids have bad grades and bad attitudes. They're not getting gifts this year. And my mom can be Santa Claus." But I said, "But you know what the most important gift this year, sir?" And he's like, "What's that?" I said, "The gifts that can't be bought." I said, "In this season, whether you are a 9-year-old, 12-year-old, 31-year-old, or however old you are, this year, it's not about the gifts. The presents that matter the most is your presence." And I'm not being cliche because that's a statement, but it's serious. The best gifts this year are the gifts that they can't be bought. The gift of time. For a lot of us, we spent a lot of time with our families this year that we never spent in our whole entire lives. The gift of love. The fact that you're able to have love and be able to give love and share love, that's a gift that you cannot buy. Third, another gift is called life. That gift can't be bought. Though if I can be all saved with you, that life was bought, that life was purchased by Jesus Christ. But life, many people, as we talked about tonight, we're talking about sickness and grief, have been affected by death. So those gifts are the gifts that's most important. So for me, that is the reason to celebrate this holiday season. To celebrate life, to celebrate love, and to celebrate of time. All right, now I'm gonna get back to y'all because y'all was over here blowing up my y'all was over here blowing up the comments. Thank you, Carla, for helping me. Sorry, I need a little bit of validation. Sometimes I get scared when I'm doing things by myself. You're doing great. Yes, it's helping understand it from another person's point of view. Ashley said here she's social distancing that and Christmas will be at home. Man, listen, social distance is painful this year. Because a lot of us we're community people. We like to be around people. But thank you for sharing, Ashley. Jazzy said, I'm spending it with my kids, making new memories and sharing stories about old Christmas with our loved ones who are no longer. Thank you, Jazzy. You just reiterated something else. I don't know if you've been on here the whole time. Thank you. You just reiterated that. Make new memories. And you said you're sharing stories about your old Christmases. That's a beautiful thing. I said that earlier. So if you're just joining in, listen to what Jazz said. Make new memories and share old stories with your family, the loved ones who are no longer with us. Antoine, you said, when my grandpa passed away, I agreed 3 months prior to him passing. Oh, your grandfather. When my grandpa passed, I agreed 3 months prior to him passing because I knew his time was coming. And when he passed at his home, he looked so happy and peaceful. You know, it's a beautiful thing when your loved ones, they are ready. We don't like it, but it's a beautiful thing when they are ready. My godfather told me, my grandfather's been dead 2 years in October, this past October, and he said he was ready. I can't deny the fact he was more ready than I was. Shannon says she's celebrating with less family, but still thankful and blessed for the family that I get to spend time with. Thankfulness. I'm letting y'all leave in a couple minutes. Thankful. I'm just happy that y'all are reiterating these things. Going to try and make new memories and traditions. Thank you, Shannon. She said that my boys are giving me the gift of love and time. Listen, come on now. Charlotte says, I'm spending time over my son and daughter-in-law with my new grandson's first Christmas. I'm passing down for the first time my recipes for Christmas dinner to my daughter-in-law so she can carry on the tradition when I'm not there with them. Just going to enjoy being there. Come on, I told y'all, sometimes the present itself is just being present. It's just being present. It's just being present. So listen, I'm out of here. I'm about to leave. I want you to know, find whatever it is that works for you and your family. Find whatever works for you. If you're a single person, you're at home alone, and you might be dealing with both sickness and grief, find something that works for you. I don't think it's sad to even put a portrait of your loved one and eat with them. Now, some people might think that's silly, but I don't. I think it's okay to still keep the memory of them alive. Now, I wouldn't say do that every day. I wouldn't educate them every day, But maybe just that day, if you want to have a picture of them and feel like they're with you, whatever it is that you can do that makes your holiday a little bit more memorable. I'm not going to say cheerful. I'm going to say a little bit more memorable, because even happiness is subjective. Happiness is temporal. We're not always going to be happy. We were never promised happy days. I'm sorry if I'm the bearer of bad news. But find a way to make your holiday memorable. If you find peace there, let it be memorable. If you find happiness there, let it be memorable. If you find it joyful, let it be memorable. Even if there's weeping involved, let it not make it memorable. Like you'd be like, man, I cried so much. No, not that memorable. But just be in that moment. Embrace your holidays and understand what the real meaning of the holiday really is. Now, again, I said it once, I said it twice, and I'm actually out of here. I hope this has been effective to you. If it has, just let me know in the comments, or better yet, just wait till tomorrow. Come into the check-in post. Just leave a comment. Just let me know that you enjoy your time. You felt it was well worth it. But also, I just want to remind you that if you have just joined tonight, it was the first night you've seen this Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner series has been going on since December 2nd with Latoya. We talked about anxiety, isolation, and grief. On the second week, we talked about virtual learning for parents and teachers and students. We had Jane, who was talking to me earlier. We had Kiana Harper on here as well. Last week, we talked about relationships that have been affected by the pandemic. Every relationship has been affected. Friendships, intimate ones, whether you're husband and wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, whether you found new love, whether you broke up with your old love, business partners, relationships. They've all been affected. We all are in some type of ship, I said last week. Tonight was about grief before the holidays. Now, next week, I know a lot of y'all, it's Wednesday. Hey, Savonia, my other mother. I mentioned your name. Next week is the last to be determined, the last guest who's coming to dinner show. Tierney Payne, who was just with me earlier watching, thank you for your support. I appreciate every counselor I've had. They've been on every show or some, if they've been on either their show and another show, they're very supportive of my team. I appreciate them. I say my team because even though I don't have a board, every time I ask them, they say yes. And I'm so thankful for the time and energy and knowledge they bring into every Facebook Live. But next Wednesday, we're going to talk about, before we get out of 2020 and go into 2021, we're going to talk about how we go into a new year with a new mindset, even when our circumstances haven't changed. Now, I know some of you might be moving, maybe you might be moving in 2021. But the reality is, when we wake up January 1st, the pandemic will still be here. The virus will still be here. But just because the virus is here doesn't mean that our minds have to stay on the negativity that has happened in 2020. And I'm not just talking about the virus, the election, the politics, the $600 we're just about to get. All those things that you might experience in 2020, let 2020 go. Learn from them, but don't take the bad into the new year. So again, Tierney Payne is going to be with us. We're going to have a great conversation. I'm excited because 2021, I believe, it's just got to be better than 2020. Greater things are going to happen in 2021. I don't know if you didn't know I had a shirt that says unknown is greater than routine. It's a little plug. I still have those shirts. But unknown means the future of our lives. The unknown of what our future is has to be greater than the routine of our lives, the lives that we knew, what we did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It has to get better. The future of our lives has to get better. I don't know about you. If you only believe that the greater of your life was in your past, I'm sad to tell you that there's so much happening. Greater things are ahead of us in our future. And in your life, I believe it. I don't know if you believe it. You might say, Kiki, I went to church, but I have to encourage you. I have to encourage you that greater is coming to us in 2021. And tonight, I don't know whoever it is who's been affected by sickness and grief, because I said earlier, I have a servant's heart. I'm going to pray for whoever is being affected, has been affected by sickness and grief. I have friends who have loved ones who are sick right now. I have friends I know via Facebook that have lost individuals. And I'm going to pray for you that God comforts your heart, that it gives you a peace of mind. That even those questions you ask, why they had to go the way they had to go. Why did this virus have to take my family? Why did it have to be affected? I'm going to pray for you tonight. I don't need you to know your name because God knows your name. God knows your situation. He knows your heart. Even if you're not saved, I even hope that. And look at that. That is, I'm not even going to say that's the devil, but that is craziness. I'm just going to be hopeful that if you don't know God, and this ain't even for that, but I'm just going to use a platform because I got it, right? I got it. So you hear? I'm going to get it. Is that I hope that, sorry, look at this is just distractions along my way. I will just hope that the best present that you get is Jesus Christ. And why I say that, and I really am gone, is because if you're alone, Jesus is going to be your best friend that you ever had. He's going to wipe those tears away. Give you joy. He'll give you peace. But even if you don't believe, I hope you still find the best present, which is love, time, and life. Your life, your time, and love. And on that note, Kana Cole is out. I wish you a Merry Christmas, and we will be back here for me to tell you next week a Happy New Year. So join me next week, Wednesday. And if you enjoyed the show tonight, please share again tomorrow. Drop in on the check-in post and let me know how much you like it. Or if you didn't like it, you can let me know that too. You can inbox me that if you're negativity. On that note, have a good one.